And if I was making this on the day, since you don't have to line a crease up with the other side.
Jake, this is the day.
Okay, well what I would do is what I'm gonna do is turn this branch and crease it. Save yourself some time. You don't have to line another crease up with it.
This is your day to shine, Jake.
Okay, I need tongs.
You gotta do good. See if we can't get some of that cholesterol worked out.
Yes, sir. I think this is an individual shoe. No, this is an individual class. So that's what I would do on that heat, is I'd get that thing turned. It's gonna be pretty close, not exactly what you want, but it's gonna be pretty close. Gotta pay attention to what type of heel is on. It's just kind of a round heel with a little check. Yeah, lateral. And I'm not going to line that crease out all the way yet, because you've still got to get it welded and put your safing on it. But you can see, like right now, if you look at this shoe and the section in it, it's a little bit wider here and all the way around, and a little bit wider from here and all the way back. So the narrowest bit of it right now is just this bit that you've got to safe off. So it makes it really easy to keep a nice uniform section if you leave the bit that you're gonna have to blow out and be wide. Does that make sense? Now I'd get this thing ready to weld and weld it. You guys ever have, but I've done quite a few white line cases where you do have to punch them in the heels, and if you punch them deep, you'll be in pretty big trouble. And I'm gonna make these branches about the same, I think. You know, this thing's about 5 1/4 to that point, and this is about 5, so I'm gonna draw it a little more. That's gonna be about right. You don't wanna draw, since these, you gotta think about, since this side's gonna be creased and this side's not, and those are about the same length, you've gotta figure you don't really want, this has gotta be just a touch shorter because you're gonna crease it and gain a little length yet, right? And you look at this right now, you look at both of these little points are pointing away from each other, right? But so once you get that thing all lined up, they're gonna line up and those scarfs are gonna overlap quite a lot. This will save you a lot of time in cleaning up that bark, especially on something like the max play, right? That makes sense?
When you go to weld that, do they spread?
No, typically they don't slip that much because I put a step in it to where, you know, it grabs and it won't. It doesn't slip apart. And I always think about, like, on the types of heels I'm gonna have. If I'm gonna make a roadster heel, I'll start on the inside first, right? Or I'm sorry, if I'm gonna make a hunter heel, I'll start on the inside first, and then you go to the outside and it pushes it back to center. It's just a little faster. If I'm gonna make a roadster heel, I'll start on the outside and then push this, pack this back in until I get the check that I want. That way you don't have to go back and forth 52 million times. I don't think so. No, it's just a big old heel. Kind of a long, skinny thing, really. First thing I do is I come out and pin all the edges together and give them points a little bit of a smack. Get all my edges welded in really good. But you see how little distortion you've got where them tips are at? Like, I'm always looking at these pictures when you're making them. Like, it doesn't have a real high quarter, so we'll just knock this thing in there about like normal. Get my crease all lined out. Well, we're making it for the opposite foot. Haha, just kidding. That's where you really got to trust your striker.
You want me to strike it?
Yeah.
The way Gene's hands are, I think it's just my opinion, but you see people who strike with their hands together, and that's a recipe for disaster. Your feet apart and your hands apart is a lot safer. I watched yesterday, and it's just a bad habit to get into when you see people striking with their hands like this. Because what you do is you end up catching the edge of the face of the anvil. Good recovery, Jake. Nice when your friends screw you like Gene.
Well,
Burnt it for you last time. Did a little bit of a Bill Bauer kind of deal on you there.
well, me and Gene used to be friends.
He doesn't like you, Jake. It's too much of a
gonna punch the outside. And this is where I'm gonna start putting my preventer part in it. I'll do it from this side. That crease goes right up. That preventer actually comes over the top of that crease. I'm gonna start this here. Run this through their line. Is it 6 holes or 7? Seven?
4 on this side.
Okay. Right. I'm going to clean up that inside branch again and re-punch it and just finish that inside. So, okay, here's a perfect example of what I was talking about. Like, you look at this toe and the inside of it's not very straight. You look at the inside of this one and it's dead straight. So I'd have made 4 or 5 of them toes, just the toes, to figure out how to get them dead straight before you ever go on. Because you can make a whole bunch of them just like this, but they're never going to be any better, are they? Right? So what's the point of making 15 of them with crappy toes? Make about 15 toes and make them right and then do the rest of it. The rest of it's easy. But I think the test is getting them 2 things perfectly square, getting corners, and then getting that drawed out right. Making it for the right foot would be a real good test.
I think that corner.
Yeah.
That piece and that piece.
I didn't really measure. I bet I put about a 1/4 inch, maybe 3/8. Oh no, just like if you was gonna mark your center punch, just from your center punch to that crease.
Clean that up.
Yeah. I also think it's fairly important to seat that bar out where it's going to be over the foot. What's that?
On that section that's straight right there.
There's gonna be
nailed
foot
it,
hanging out.
There's gonna be foot out there.